in the previous video, we took a look at my revamp for the Krekka build, and we've got another Titan revamp for this build as well. But if you cannot wait for the instructions for this, you are in luck. The studio file for this is complete, and it is downloadable for free over on the Discord server link down in the description below. Just check out the mock instructions channel. Join me, 700 other people or whatever, and have a good time over there. A very welcoming place. There are a little bit of things that have changed on this since the previous video, mostly just aesthetic stuff, but the previous version is also available. It's in the same exact file, so you get the version from the previous video and this one with some slight aesthetic changes like the feet design, the Hordika head on the back, a couple changes around the top, and etc. And yeah, so let's go ahead and move on now to the next model. By the way, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe. If you do subscribe, I will try at some point in the future to revamp Nidhiki as well. And by try, I mean, I kind of already did. So, oops. Anyway, to get into the next build here, though, this one is probably my favorite source material of the original three Titans from 2004, just because I am a big fan of the original version of it. That said, it does still leave a lot to be desired. And it's probably the one that I wanted to revamp the most. And at the same time, it's one that I don't see a lot of people tackling, which, I mean, fair enough. It's a big bird, right? It's a Rahi. It's not a character like the other two, like Krekka and Nidhiki, etc., right? So those get a lot of love. Those get a lot of revamps. This one, not quite so much, but that's okay. I do think that the original Nivawk set is a good set from start to finish. But to me, like I said, it leaves a decent amount to be desired. Notably, the main function in the set is the fact that the wings can fold up and the wings can unfold. And you saw them unfold at the video on accident there. But even better than that, this not only has the ability to unfold the wings, it can also flap the wings as well. And that's actually all tied into a single function. There's also actually a lock mechanism in there as well. It's a kind of finicky one, so it's not perfect by any means, but it is also one I stumbled upon by accident. And I'd love to say that the ability to actually open the wings all via the same function was just like my big brain 4D chess move, but no, it was also kind of by accident too. I had plans, of course, to make this have flapping wings, to make this have wings that folded up and unfolded, but I did not think to actually tie the two together via this connection here specifically. I knew I wanted them to be tied together. I didn't know exactly how I wanted to do it. And when I was building the model, I knew that I needed to affix this neck in place. I ended up using this silver piece, which is actually one that appears in the original set as well, most notably because it just fills in a little gap here. And I was like, it's either that or half bushings. So I'll use that and I'll do something with those pins later, or I'll change the piece out later. Well, it turns out that the way these wings are designed, they're the same design from the original set, except they have this extra lift arm in here. That lift arm is responsible for connecting to a specific rubber band in a way so that it folds basically over center. All that basically means for an engineering standpoint is that it snaps to the open position and it snaps to the closed position, right? And so because of that, the wings want to stay closed or they want to stay open. However, it turns out that that placement for that ball to connect the rubber band to literally aligns perfectly with the pin on that connector there. And so when I actually activate the function for the first time, it pushes that ball outward, which is enough to make the rubber band snap over center and force the wings open. It's so simple. It is one of those like beautifully elegant things. Furthermore, too, the addition of the armor on the back. We'll talk about this thing here in a moment. The addition of the Metro foot on the back was entirely there for aesthetics, just to kind of cover up the look of the back, feeling like it was unfinished. But it turns out that the little pinholes on the outside, when the wings are closed, actually slightly catch onto the lift arms that the wings are connected to. So they actually kind of help to hold the wings in place. Again, not absolutely perfect, but the model's not really going to be displayed on its side in the first place, unless you've killed Nidhiki. And how dare you? I said Nidhiki again. Nivawk. There we go. They both start with N's. That was a terrible mistake. Anyway, so how does the build actually function? Well, first and foremost, and quite simply, it is just built around the Nui Rama body, because it's one of those things where it's like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That body can be difficult to actually incorporate into builds. However, it is incredibly good at doing the thing it is designed to do, which is basically mirror movement from the left to the right via some gears without causing those gears to skip or damage them in any way. And it just works so beautifully well. It's also worth noting, too, that if you actually have the model, it's sort of like a swooshing pose, right? You only have to activate the function by pushing on it because gravity is going to do the rest of the work for you. So literally you can flap it around like this and you're going to be just fine. And that's pretty cool too. Now, it is not designed to close the wings when they're in the forward position. They kind of lock in this position here. I thought that was a neat little thing. Is it necessary? Probably not, but it does help with the ability to actually have the function sort of come together, if you will. So, of course, there are some other little changes that I made to the model as well. The original version of Nivawk is extraordinarily tall, which I'm not a huge fan of personally, but that's just personal taste. Someone had actually asked me if I made him shorter and made the legs shorter specifically to lower the center of gravity, which once again sounds like a big brain move. But no, I just did it for aesthetics. I didn't like as tall as he was in the original set. He's still big, by the way. He still towers over Krekka's build here. He still towers over Toa Metru, which is even shorter than Krekka there as well. So yeah, he's quite tall. However, he doesn't have these weird dangly wing shoulders that go well above his head, which does remind me a little bit of a vulture, but not in the best way possible. And he doesn't have quite as long legs. Of course, if you like the original length of it, you can change the legs out for the original version, or at least change the proportions of them for the original version, make the legs longer. But I do like them as they are. Relying on the Borak teeth pieces here as well, I think is quite effective. And I'm going to go ahead and push that Metru foot in there. Just really make sure that it's clutching on those wings, because otherwise this video is going to be a lot more fun. But yeah, and then also the thigh build, which is one that I'm quite proud of. It does allow for a decent amount of splay. Not a lot of forward-backward movement, but I don't really think that that's a big problem with this model specifically, mostly because of the fact that it's just kind of a bird, right? And it is notable as well that it has these little feathery sort of flame pieces on the back via the Turok staff pieces as well. Part of the reason it doesn't have a lot of backward-forward movement, though, is the fact that there's a Hordika head in there, specifically Winua Hordika's head, which does collide a little bit with those legs. It's not actually the legs itself so much as it is the little assembly I made to actually lock the top and bottom of the legs together. It's not strictly necessary to have those pieces in there, so you can obviously remove those, and that'll help a little bit with the posability of the legs, but I'm not terribly worried about it. Like I said, it is a big bird. It is kind of meant to stand erect in the first place, and those legs, in my opinion at least, don't need to have a crazy amount of mobility. But if that's sort of a no-go for you, then obviously that is something that can be addressed. On the opposite side of that as well, of course, the function for the actual character does still work. This still opens up, the character does come out. I did give him a little bit of a head swivel, which is actually a modification of a function I came up with a while ago for the for the Metru Matoran, where there's a little gear on the back. You turn the gear and the head swivels left, right. It is basically that without the gear in this case. And I also gave it the ability to actually connect the feet to the body via a soft connection, that being an axle that goes into the pinholes on the feet themselves. So that works out, although I did just push it into the other foot all the way somehow, so that was very silly of me. But yeah, and that just helps to, I think, secure the build in there just a little bit more instead of having him wobble around, because once those feet are on there, you're not going to have too many issues with like him wanting to kind of roll to the side or the other side. Those feet act as a sort of brace. But because it's a soft connection, you're not going to pull out axles with, the build or anything like that. It works well. And yeah, I'm very, very happy with it. It's also worth mentioning, too, that the model is actually quite stable. Thankfully, the large feet work out well in that regard. Again, if you're a fan of the original feet with the galley hook pieces, that is an option here. But I wanted to make sure that I designed something different. I wasn't just ripping things from the original model. Not that there's anything wrong with that, obviously. But in this case here, we already have the Borak teeth in silver. We might as well use them. Obviously, we get the galley hook pieces elsewhere anyway, so I don't think it's a terribly good deal. We've got a fly in here, and he will not leave. I named him Henry. Anyway, and then, of course, the head build on there as well. This little build is just a modification, once again, of the Nivawk build itself, because 2004 gave us this piece and then didn't use it, which I think is a crime. Didn't use it for this build specifically. And it's like, why? I don't understand why. I'm so annoyed by it. We have it. Anyway, but yeah, I used it here, obviously, so I think that works better. And then this will probably change to silver as well. But again, I only have one in my collection for some reason. Krekka's using it. I'll have to order more of those at some point in the future. So anyway, if you want to build this model yourself and modify it to your liking, it is also available in Studio over on the Discord channel in the same place as well. In fact, not only him, not only Krekka, but also the Nidhiki that I'm starting to work on. And yes, I know I posted this online, and like people are like, good Lord, he's thick. And like, that's true. I find it kind of endearing, but of course, if I want to thin this out in the future, it's very easy to do that. The pieces are here, so I'm not terribly worried about it. I just thought it was really funny because it's like, yeah, you're not wrong, but also like, yeah, it's kind of what I was going for. I thought it was really endearing and really funny. It is actually built around a Toa Metru torso as well in here because he's originally a Toa. I just thought that was a neat thing. And it also has disk storage. However, just one disk for Nidhiki. That makes sense to buy on my story because he's not actually hunting for disks and he doesn't really have a working relationship with Krekka, which you may agree or disagree with. But that's just my story, right? So yeah, disk storage on the back for one single disk. And of course, you can remove that disk, put it into his launcher, and it works out just fine. He's a big guy, but he's about the same height as Krekka once he is complete. So he's not the size of like Nidhiki or anything like that. He just looks real big. And interestingly enough, I finished this build over on Studio as mentioned. Didn't finish it in real life because I need to order more parts for it, mostly those dark green parts specifically. But the actual entire build for this came out to less than 300 pieces. And I really was not expecting that. So the only downside with that build as of right now, which is something I may try to address in the future, is he cannot currently fold his upper body down to sort of go into like spider mode, as people put it. And that is definitely something that to be missed. I literally just forgot about that function when I was designing him. So I was like, oh, yeah, that's a problem. That's something I'm going to have to rectify. So that is something that'll come in the future. But if you want to build the version of him that I have as of right now, yeah, he is available over on the Discord. Once again, check that out. Link for that down in the description. My words are mixed up. And of course, be sure to subscribe. Once again, stay out of the heat. It's terrible out there. It's gross. Don't go outside. Anyway, take care.